Hello, everyone. Hello, LinkedIners. As you know, at HBC, we have started a new series of webinars called Expert Talks, where we're going to host experts and cover various topics related to digital marketing. So today's expert is Patrick Burmeier, inbound marketing consultant at Takeoff PR, and also a former content marketing manager at HBC. So you bet, since Patrick was one of the first employees at HBC and helped us a lot during our foundation phase, it goes without saying that we wanted to invite Patrick as a guest speaker to one of our first webinars. Welcome, Patrick.
Happy to be here. Hello there.
Hello. In fact, I was really excited when we first discussed it between our team that we would very much like you, especially to cover content marketing topic, especially that it was you who built the whole foundation of content marketing at HBC, and the ones who followed you just followed your steps. So thank you for that, and let's discuss the most important and upcoming topic that everyone here who has joined us is interested in. It's what has changed after the pandemic in terms of content marketing.
What has changed? Well, there was, I think, a specific way for most companies of doing marketing. Either they didn't do any marketing because they were relying on their networks in the past, right? So they were getting leads from everywhere, like events where they met networking some people, and just they were coming out of the blue, right? A lot of companies, especially smaller companies, did that in the past. And there were those companies on the other side that did a lot of marketing even before the pandemic, and they realized there was a change. We are representing the change here as well. We are doing this seminar online, so the change is obviously we were sitting at home during the lockdown, so we hadn't had the chance to go somewhere, to network, to meet new people, to get new business as well. So a lot of companies just changed their approach. And what I think, or what I can see when I work with clients or new clients on a daily basis, they always thought about it, whenever they thought about the new tactics in marketing, they were going on the internet and looking for digital marketing trends in 2020, 2021 or 2022 right now. And they were coming across most of the times content marketing at the top. And they were reading it and they were like, wow, that's actually a cool way of doing marketing because it's cheap, right?
Yeah, right. It's cheap. It's sometimes it comes at no cost.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what they read it, and a lot of articles actually say, yeah, you just have to produce blog
Isn't
article,
that?
and then the leads will pour in, and you will gather all the new business you can get because the internet is that great.
Yeah.
And a lot of the clients we are starting working with actually think that content marketing is a one-time effort,
Yeah.
and then leads will just constantly pour in, right? So, and that's something that actually I think starts to change right now in 2022. A lot of smaller companies, B2C and B2B, started content marketing in the past 2 years with the thought, well, that's something we do one time, and we are putting a little bit of effort. We even hire some people to do that, maybe externals, maybe internals. We build a small marketing team, and then it will bring us the gold. And right now, I think they're starting to realize it's not that easy. It's really not that easy.
All about consistency, even though so many people cannot just wrap their minds around it. I totally agree and sign under every single word you say, because we have met ourselves so many clients who came to us and were really excited, and you could tell that they really want to build something, but this small thing that they didn't understand the importance of consistency in creating content and publishing, it's really challenging for marketers, right? We have to convince, we have to kind of educate first the client and then expect the same understanding from them.
Yeah, that's true. It's even more funny if you have some companies that really did their research, their homework, and they think, well, we also set up some Google ad accounts. We tried out
Mm-hmm.
paid advertising, and it's really expensive. We are paying per click like €5 per click because we are in a highly competitive market, and
Mm-hmm.
that's too much money. We need a cheaper
Yeah.
strategy.
Mm-hmm.
And what I always tell them is, well, maybe in the long run, content marketing will be cheaper,
Mm-hmm.
but it will still have ongoing costs. And that's what you
Yes.
should keep in mind. This is
Mm-hmm.
not a one-time effort. You cannot just do
Mm-hmm.
stuff and then leave it and hope for the best.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, there's a lot of also agencies and specialists out there that sell
Mm-hmm.
content marketing like this, right? So they say actually we will build your blog
Yeah.
and we will publish 100 articles and then that's it, right? So we
Yeah.
will publish some great search engine optimized content and
Mm-hmm.
we will get the leads. And so, but well, as
Yeah.
we know, it's not that easy actually. I wish it would be, but it's not, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's not. And there is so much changing in terms of like surrounding as well. It's not like you can put out content that will be relevant in 1 year. It in terms of industry, in terms of competitors, in terms of like even functionality of your own product. You're optimizing it, you are developing it constantly, and it needs constant lighting upon your product and functionality that has been developed and changed. If you create content of how amazing your product is, but it has changed through the time and you haven't updated it, how your audience is gonna know about it? So,
That's actually a good point. What you just mentioned. That's one of the other trends I also see is that companies that have created a lot of content in the past, um, they realized, and I especially me, I'm working with right now two clients, two big brands in Germany and Austria that have the same problem. They have produced a lot of content in the past. They have thousands of articles on their blog, for instance, and now they realize they get less and less traffic, less and less leads, although they used to rank at the top for some keywords. And
Okay.
they realized, so, and we digged into that and we really realized there's a lot of keyword cannibalization. So they have content created over the years that is repetitive, right? So the same topic they published in 2017 and made another article which was very similar in 2019 or 20, and they didn't track it because it was just simply too much content on their website. And now Google is much more advanced, or search engines are much more advanced, and they actually they take that into consideration as well, that you have content that is actually cannibalizing,
Oh, I see. Wow. That's
which is
crazy news.
totally crazy. But and then some websites just start to not rank at all, right? Because Google either cannot decide which is the more relevant content to the users, and the users get lost as well because they either Google some specific topic and they get results from 2017 and a few other results which are a little bit more updated in 2019. And the big challenge here is often to merge all the content and make one great article out of maybe 15 of the same topic.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of work to do that. And
Yeah.
that's another trend that more established brands doing content marketing over the years try to work on their content optimization.
Well, yeah, and now you're back. It was frozen for a bit. In fact, I really want to cover the topic that we were supposed to cover in the beginning, but since we have kind of warmed up our audience, let's discuss what is content marketing and what types of content marketing exist.
Most of the times when I start off with a new client, I tell them that content marketing is a strategy that uses blog articles, videos, guides, podcasts, and social media to attract new buyers, to build trust for your company and your brand, and to shorten your sales cycles. That helps you actually to sell better and ultimately help people and users to buy your products and services. Because content marketing is also to educate the buyer how to buy better, how to make more smarter buying decisions actually. And well, there's a lot to content marketing. You can use what I just said. You can use blogging. Blogging is one sort of and the most common content marketing effort that is out there. I think video marketing, so a lot of social media marketing, and so on, so on. There's a lot of everything. Every time when you produce a piece of content, it relates somewhat to content marketing. And so, of course, there's a lot of subcategories as well. What's necessary to do content marketing? You have to have a good search engine optimization strategy as well, and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And could you please also cover the part where how to choose the methods? Like, does one have to be everywhere and do and create all types of content, or it's all about careful choosing?
Well, I think what's important today is to figure out how your target group wants to consume content. So that's the very first step you always should take. Of course, when you're new to content marketing, there is some sort of tryout phase. So you need to try some stuff to just gather the data. And afterwards, you can actually decide what's the best strategy for you. But of course, whenever someone says you need to be on all platforms, that is dead wrong. So that's just that's not it. For what we always recommend is start off with one of the easier approaches to content market blogging. Set up a blog, begin blogging about topics related to your products and services to cover some to help people find the best product or service, to help them to make the right decision when it comes to buy something. And then we always say, okay, if you started with blogging, the next step you should do is you should cover video marketing. Because video marketing, videos are, I mean, all of you know that people love videos, they love YouTube, they love to watch instead of reading. That's not true every time, of course, but video is for years on the rise, and especially in the past 5 years.
Yeah.
It's a steep curve. So that's what we always say. Like, the second thing when you're new to content marketing, you should try is video marketing after having a blog maybe, or and produce this kind of content. And then there is a lot of stuff you could do afterwards. You can do podcasts, webinars. You can produce a lot of smaller content pieces afterwards. Just start to build up a pile of content and then sort out what's working from you and take it from there.
Okay. And what are the common misconceptions when it comes to content marketing? Like, why do you think it happens and how often they happen?
Yeah, one thing we mentioned in the beginning, it's cheap. So it's cheaper than paid advertising. That's what a lot of people actually think, because they think, well, it's just about writing some content, writing up some content. We publish like 30 articles and then we get all the leads. So that's a very common misconception. Second thing is,
especially with shooting and creation.
Yeah. Say again. Sorry.
Yeah, I was saying just even creation of content. If we're talking about shootings, if we are talking about animation video creation, if you are talking about all different types of resources one has to buy in order to create a decent content, right? It's so much work and it's so expensive. And yeah, you're so right that the misconception that content is cheap, it's so wrong. Sometimes it's even more expensive than the service itself we provide.
Yeah, it's true. And what I just was getting at is you need to have the resources. A lot of companies
Mhm.
start with content marketing saying, okay, we already have 2 marketing assistants and a head of marketing. So
Mhm.
we will have them writing blog articles and do the videos.
Mhm.
And that's actually also a common misconception, that you can create content with the resources at hand. Because
Yeah.
imagine if you're a small company and you have already 3 people in marketing,
Mhm.
they already have tasks, right? So
Mhm.
they are doing stuff they have done over
Yeah.
the years, and they won't simply stop doing what they did before. Of
Mhm.
course, there will be, if there's a strategic shift doing a new type of marketing, they will be still doing their old jobs, what
Yeah.
they have done before. And maybe they are not even experts in this new approach of
Exactly.
marketing. So it's a lot of times that's a common misconception as well, that you can just do it with the resources at hand.
May I add something about that? So that's one of the things that is so slow when you want to create content with the resources at hand. For example, let's say we want to shoot a video about how the product is produced in the factory, and since the client is closer to the factory and to the production spot, we ask the client to send us some raw materials, not edited at all, just raw materials from the production of how it's working in the factory, who are the people working there, how is the product produced, etc. And then we receive raw materials that are of no use because they are shot in wrong angles. They haven't even interviewed someone who is working there. They could have just asked one question and received an answer. And then we come back again with a huge instruction list, of checklist of what to produce, how to produce it, very clear descriptions of what kind of content we want, and even a mood board. So mood board comes on top. We create a mood board, all the similar posts, references to content that we want to receive back, and then all these rounds are so ongoing. It's like back and forth, back and forth, and then after 3 rounds, we understand. Okay, we lost so much time. We will lost a lot of resources and trust from the client because they are embarrassed already, because you ask them to shoot the same thing over and over and you just do not produce it, you do not edit the raw materials, they are wrong. And then you understand, okay, what I could have done, I could have sent a professional crew on spot myself. I could have given all those mood boards and checklists and descriptions to the professional crew, and I could have asked them to do it all by themselves, and we could save time, we could save face, our face and reputation and all those even resources, even financial resources, because all these tests, all this um, tests that always afterwards you have to start from the scratch. It's not like you take something from the first round, you take something from the second round. No, you always start from scratch. You delete all the raw materials received in the first rounds. And yeah, you're right that it's wrong to assume that you can do all okay with the resources at hand. It's sometimes even cheaper. It's faster to go with a professional method. Yeah, from the first
Or
round.
yeah, or and that's another trend we in our daily work also see is you can hire those people yourself and build a marketing, because you need them in the future as well, right? It's not a one-time effort.
It's
You
not.
will need video over the next, I don't know, 15, 20 years until we figure out something else that is
Yes.
even better than video. But
Mhm.
there is a lot of need for professionals like this, and you can have them in-house. And that's another
Mhm.
trend I see in content marketing as well, in-house, building your in-house team,
Yeah.
because there's actually need for that. And as I said, I'm working with mostly German and Austrian clients.
Mhm.
And the funny thing is, we always talk about the lack of expertise when it comes to professionals in specific industries and stuff like that. And you
Mhm.
would assume that there's a lot of marketing people out there, because marketing is easy to do, right? It's not a skill, it's something you just learn on the go. That's but there isn't. When we start off working with clients, we most of the time recommend to hire a content manager when they don't have that one in place already. We tell them, you will need a content manager to do all of that in the future. Hire one. And then they start looking for a content manager. And in the German speaking market, there is not that many professionals that
Yes.
are available
Hard.
for that. And that's funny, right? They are right, the highly sought after experts, which you would think there is a lot of people out there already. No, there isn't. There is a lot of people, of course, doing marketing or digital marketing. But when it comes to maybe specific content skills and stuff like that, you will have to have very specific skills to do that, actually, and a skill set, which is not that common. It is something we will have in a few years from now, maybe next year, maybe the year after, because a lot of people are actually right now training themselves to gather those kind of skills. And there's even some higher education institutes, facilities, or even universities offering already programs to actually get content. They create content marketing courses and studies, even to learn how to do content marketing the right way, which is also interesting development. But right now, there's actually, we need more content managers. We desperately need more content managers that have the skill to do this kind of job.
Yeah, totally agree with you. In fact, I would have liked to mention here the reason why we even started the digital marketing course ourselves at HBC. That was one of the reasons. For example, we wanted at so many points employees joining our team who would have a skill set, not a skill like one skill, let's say Klaviyo specialist, or someone who is an SEO specialist, or someone who just knows how to edit videos, how to create reels, etc., etc. Otherwise, we would have like a crew of 100 people, everyone just specialized in just one thing, and there is not one person who can do it like at least a set of 3 or 4, and it would just save so much time. Then we thought, okay, what about teaching them ourselves? Really, teaching them ourselves, training them, investing time and why not money in them. And then if we like what we see, we would pick students among the course itself to join our team. And that's actually how, let me just show here. This is our course page, the front page, where we just say you have graduated and got lost. Why we say so? Because it's the truth. No one teaches social media marketing or content marketing or even digital marketing whatsoever at universities. It's so rare. I have recently visited my alma mater just 2 weeks ago. I prepared a very thorough presentation about social media marketing, and I was just so surprised that they have a course that they pass about social media marketing. I was so happy. I even said, like, really, you have social media marketing course as part of a curriculum? I really was happy about it, but that's not what I passed. Really, when I myself graduated from the university, I never had such a course. I even never had any digital marketing related course, and I had to learn everything by myself. So that's one of the reasons why we really target the ones who have even graduated from universities and never had a digital marketing course in their lives. The next thing about the whole course we have created is that it covers every single thing about digital marketing from the foundation perspective. So we cover all the basics. We cover the marketing essentials, branding, digital marketing, and social media marketing. Like, what types are there out there? How one can choose what they like, what to specialize in. Then we go deep into, let me just see. Then we go deep into Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn as up and coming tools. Of course, we touch a bit at the TikTok, Clubhouse, Pinterest, and Twitter. But these three are the main tools we teach. Then we go deep into targeting, performance marketing, and especially Facebook ads. We literally help them in terms of setting up business manager, how to set up ad sets and campaigns. We go deep into all the technicalities of Facebook ads. We even teach the algorithm of Facebook, how it works, what kind of content to publish as an ad, and what kind of content not to. Then we have a copywriting module. We hand out so many extra materials here, a lot of templates, a lot of ebooks, even ready-to-go content, like even content where you should just add stuff, edit stuff, so it's ready-to-go content. We don't, by the way, cover SEO in the copywriting module because it's already advanced, and we'll cover in the next course. We have visuals. We help digital marketing specialists to use Canva, the easiest, I would say, tool in terms of content creation that any marketing specialist should know about. We cover a little bit Illustrator, Adobe Illustrator, but we do not go deep in there. Then we have marketing project management. In fact, there are so many people who even start as a junior marketing specialist, but in terms of long term, they would really like to know how to manage teams, to become a team leader, to become a project manager for a client, and this is where we teach the basics. How to consult a client, how to give them the right tools, how to bring the whole team together, what kind of tools to use, how to make the best of every single tool in terms of management. We cover Trello, Asana, communication tools like Slack. We even give out some agile and waterfall methods in terms of but from the perspective of marketing. Then we cover neuromarketing. We do not go very much in deep here because neuromarketing is expensive. Not so many clients are using it. Not so many, projects. We even have encountered myself with neuromarketing methods. But this is really important because any marketer, we are very sure about this, has to know about this. Then we host. We have, by the way, hosted the founder and CEO of a neuromarketing agency, a very intelligent person who is very knowledgeable in neuromarketing. And of course, we share this webinar with the students so that they can learn more about neuromarketing. And in the end, of course, we cover portfolio development. We're deeply concerned of the market where all the marketing specialists just share their resumes. We're so deeply concerned about this. huge mistake, because a marketer has to have a portfolio, and we want to help all our students with it. We not only teach how to put together a decent portfolio, but we then collect back all their portfolios and give a very thorough feedback on their portfolios, so that they can apply to jobs right after graduating from our course. And here, we would like them to know that it's 5 weeks the length, and we cover 10 modules, so 2 weeks in 2 modules per week. And this is really important. The QR code that, if anyone watching us is interested, can just scan, and it'll just take you to the course page and you'll learn more. And there is a special discount for EU Business School students, for all those students and also graduates from the university where I also studied. There is a 30% discount for them. How to run a viral Instagram giveaway campaign, please message me right after our webinar with Patrick. I will send you a link to get this ebook for free. And thank you. Please get in touch with us should you need any more assistance about the course itself. Should you have any questions, we are ready to to give a free consultation to any student who is interested in our course. So sorry, Patrick, for interrupting with our course information. Let's continue our webinar. My next question to you would be, what content marketing strategy is no longer effective into 2022?
First of all, it wasn't an interruption. I love that you offer to help out beginners in marketing to actually get hand-on experience in this. What I just mentioned before, it's really thought after, and there is, of course, a lot of free courses available where you can learn a lot of stuff, and I think a lot of people also get lost along the way, and they need some guidance. No, it's like that. It's like working when we work with our clients. They do not actually come all the time to get the most effective marketing campaign. They also come for guidance.
Yeah.
They want you to help them to find the way, because they don't know. They don't know, and how could they? It's not their business to do marketing. It's their business to do their business. And so they need some assistance on how to actually get more leads and how to grow with the help of marketing. And that's actually something that is necessary to teach. I think so as well.
Thank you.
So what strategy is no longer effective? Well, what I think, this is something I also mentioned before, is just putting content out there. That's something. Or let's start over again from another point of view. A lot of the times, whenever you start with content marketing, you don't go to a content marketing agency, you go to a digital marketing agency. And maybe they are specialized in search engine optimization. So they will tell you, of course we can do content for you. Of course we can do that. So what will they do? They will provide you with a very nice keyword list from your niche. They will tell you, well, in your industry, in your niche, there is a ton of keywords you need to cover, and we can write you search optimized content for your website, and then you will start to rank, and you will get new business. Well, it's actually a nice idea, and I think in some cases it will work as well. You will get traffic, but is that the traffic you want? Are you actually sure that you want to rank for every single keyword that is just in high search demand? I don't think so. Because that's most of the times. Most marketers are familiar with the marketing funnel, or the sales and marketing funnel, right? So there's awareness at the top. Those are the people. It goes like this, right?
Yeah.
And from the top to the bottom, at the top there are always the people that are looking for some sort of information. They don't have any idea. They are just aware that they have some sort of interest and they're just looking. And
Mhm.
actually, when you target high demand keywords,
Mm.
most of the time you will target people at the top of the funnel.
Yeah.
Well, and then every marketer should know that it takes a lot of time to actually nurture
Bring them down.
the funnel.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
what I teach most of my clients, or what we teach at our company, most of our clients, is SEO is important. That's not out of the question. But
Mhm.
if you start with creating content, start at the bottom of the funnel. Create content for the people that are already ready to buy.
Yeah.
For these people, you can create content because they are looking for specific information. They have specific questions.
Mhm.
And it's much smarter to start creating content for the bottom of the funnel
Mhm.
than for the top of the funnel, because you will get less and lesser traffic, or less traffic. Of course, that's for sure. But
Mhm.
not traffic should be your goal. Your goal should be revenue, should be closing a deal. It should
Mhm.
be getting the most qualified leads you can get. Leads in terms of interesting prospects, let's
Yeah.
say like that. So I think that's a strategy that is from the
Not
old
help.
times.
Yeah.
That's not working any longer because there's so much content out there,
Yeah.
and you cannot just simply target keywords. That's not working, and that's not content marketing either, because you're not helping people. You're just creating content for the sake of content, for having
Yeah,
content.
it's just a burden
Yeah.
on the internet. Even like there's so much useless information out there that if you just add yours on top of it, it's just the next one. There is no special thing about it. It's not helpful, right? So yeah, I totally agree with you. Now, what about trends to keep an eye on?
Trends, yeah, well, that's something that is actually also going in the direction of what I said. Um, trend is to have your own in-house content or marketing team that actually takes care of your content efforts.
Mhm.
That's a trend, I would say, is emerging from in the past few years. Video
Yeah.
video is becoming more and more important,
Mhm.
um, especially when you look at B2B clients,
Mhm.
because B2B, they didn't use interactive marketing methods in the past a lot. So it's just getting there, that there is a lot of video stuff you can actually use to explain your content, to explain your products and services.
Mhm.
Um, so that's definitely a trend, especially in the B2B market. B2C, they did use it a little bit more in the past already, but of course,
Yeah.
same trend here.
Mhm.
And there is, of course, the use of social media, and not just use social media at all of it, like use Facebook, have Instagram, have Xing and LinkedIn. A lot of companies, they figure out along the way that some sort of social media is working for them
Mhm.
much better than the other one. What we talked before, you don't have to be on every platform. So what
Exactly.
they do is they develop a voice, a
Mhm.
tone of, or a personality on a specific platform, and then they start in there and give it all. They put all the efforts in there. And that's also a trend that some brands become personalities on social media. When you
Mhm.
can see that every day on Instagram or even on LinkedIn. So
Yeah. Yeah, so long ago, I wouldn't have imagined that it would be fun following a corporate page on social media. But the type of content that they already start creating and publishing, it's sometimes so educative, entertaining, interesting, even fabulous in terms of colors, design. And there's so much to learn from them. Like any marketer can right now go and follow HubSpot on any social media and learn so much from just their publishing and what kind of content they publish, design wise and content wise, and everything. Now it's up and coming. From our experience, I would say that for example, it depends on the product within the company as well. For example, let's say we are a marketing agency, right? We are a B2B company. Everyone knows about it. B2C platforms like Facebook and Instagram do not work for us in terms of providing our services. It doesn't work. The only tool that we really invest in our time and resources is LinkedIn. And this webinar that we are doing with you is part of this content strategy that we have built. And now we have a course as a product, individual product, not related to our service providing main business. And this is where the help of other social medias like Instagram and Facebook comes to help. And the strategizing, even product-wise, within one company is really important. You can have many platforms, customized, tailored, not just on your company or on your global services that you provide, but on the product that you sell and put out there. So even like you may have noticed that Netflix itself has so many Instagram accounts, geography-wise. There is a reason why they do so. It's so important to always create and publish content that is relevant, not only product-wise but also geography-wise.
That's right. And another thing that comes to trends, actually, or what's important for the future is what also I mentioned it before, that you have to take care of your already existing content. So what I mentioned before, that there's a lot of companies that have millions of pieces of some content stuff, their videos, they have whatever, and they never did a spring cleaning or something like that. They never take care of they don't maintain their content. They just add at the top.
Yes, exactly.
And my specialty actually is besides doing content marketing, and like I'm specializing in inbound marketing. By what I help clients most with is content optimization. I look at their content and I take all the data I can get and just figure out what is important and what is not. In a nutshell, I tell them, you can delete this page, you can delete this page, you have to merge those two articles, and then we will have a better article or a better piece of content. And what do you need for this? A software, right? A tool to actually do that. And that's another trend, that it's so horrifying how many companies do not have any tools to track anything they do. Whenever I start working with a new client and we have the first conversation with a team, and maybe there's also the CEO sitting there or someone from sales, and we tell them what's the plan and stuff like that, then most of the times someone in the room will say, we tried that before, it didn't work. What do you think I answer? I most of the time ask them, how do you know? Okay. We did that and there was no result. And so, how do you know? We tried that and we didn't get any new business. But how do you know? Did you track it? And no, we just saw that there was no outcome. I understand that you didn't see any result. But how do you know? Do you know actually that there's maybe you put a piece of content out there that actually led to the sale? In the end, because the person that you sold to clicked this article multiple times, or downloaded an ebook, and because of that ebook, you can actually see the revenue stream going there, and it actually led to the deal. And you need to be able to see that. And most of the companies don't have any software or tool in place to do that. So that's another trend that most companies, I think, are already aware of, or maybe starting to get aware of. You need to have the right tools in place to actually do that. What we use, or what I do every day, is we're also a HubSpot partner agency. So of course we use HubSpot to do that, which is actually a great tool to show off this sort of path, what I just described. And I always tell them, listen, you can tell me everything you think about that has worked, that didn't work in the past, but unless you cannot prove it, please shut up. right?
Yes,
No,
exactly.
actually not saying that, but
Well, I I totally relate to your situation. I mean, there are so many, even professional businesses, IT companies, e-commerce businesses that haven't set up like pixels.
yeah.
Uh, how come? How do you expect your marketing team to optimize and A/B test if you haven't set up any pixels? So that's where data analytics comes in. What we do whenever we get a new client from even especially from e-commerce sector, we bring a data analyst ourselves and we tell them, please set up all the trackings. We want everything in place because all the efforts we are going to put in this client, in this project, we at least want data collected from this. We want a lot of data written and analyzed, and then conclusions made out of it. Because otherwise, why are we doing this? Like, what is the whole reason of putting all our efforts in the project, but not being able to analyze it? So yes, I totally.
Whenever it comes to that, I like to do a little role play with the people in the room. I always tell them, all right, so what do you think? How many pieces of content is a person willing to consume before they buy in your industry? And most of the time, there will be two sides of in the room, right? One will say, not much, like 1 or 3 pages, or maybe 1 or 3 pieces of content. And the other side will say, well, a lot. Actually, I think a lot. So that's actually both sides of the corner of the same room. And I will always start showing them our data from our company. On average, in our company, before someone becomes a sales qualified lead, they will read 27 pages on our blog, or like on our website, not just our blog, before they actually become a sales qualified lead. We can track that with HubSpot, which is great. There's a lot of studies showing that the average is somewhat between 10 and 17 pages, depending on the industry. So there's actually, so
It's a lot.
a lot of companies, or a lot of people actually massively underestimate the readiness of their customers to consume content, which is funny because we do it every day. If you are going to Amazon, or it's like you go to purchase something online and you put it in your cart, you go to the checkout and you see a coupon code field, right? Which says, with this coupon code, you get 30% off. What's the first thing you will do?
You'll try it out.
No, you actually, yeah. The first
You'll
thing is
talk it.
you will need to have the coupon code, right? So you need
Yes.
to look. You will go back to the page and you will start looking for it.
Yeah.
If you don't have it before, right? So you will actually do the research yourself because 30% is a lot, and you want to have that.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
you will dig yourself, and you won't stop until you have the information. That means you are ready to consume content because you want something. You want to have this freaking coupon code because it's 30% off.
Yeah.
And that's an everyday example on why people are ready, because especially if you are in a market where you have very high priced products or services. If you are going to buy a new machine for your company which costs €1 million, you will do your research. You won't just rely on what the salesperson is saying. You will do it.
Exactly. I totally agree with you. And there are so many like must-have type of content, depending on the type of product, of course, that you have to cover. For example, if you are selling, let's say, your software or your app, and it's very difficult and takes time to get the hang of it, or it's difficult to navigate, you need demo videos. You need a lot of explainer videos, animation videos, and they cost a lot, actually. And but still, you have to do it. You have to invest all that money into those explainer and animation videos to have a proper, let's say, 2 minute. The maximum length takes 2 minutes. We do not advise longer than that. So. 2 minute video explaining the whole app, because instead of writing a 2,500 word blog article with all the functionalities, it's more entertaining and informative to have a video instead. And so first thing I would like to advise to our viewers and clients or companies out there is that you have to really understand what explains your product better. Is it an article? Is it an ebook? Is it an explainer video? And at least have 3 different types of content explaining the same thing over and over, because you never know what kind of person is in front of you. Who is your lead? Does he like to read? Does he like to watch? Does he like to share with friends? What is the easiest way to share with a person who is making decisions on behalf of him or with him? So this is a common situation. I have even had so many students who were interested in our course who are bringing other people to our consultations. This is literally happening. Like they would bring their brother, their husband, or someone else for them to ask questions and listen to our answers. So yeah, it's really important that the type of content you create is easily shareable and by one click, or just you just copy the link and send to the person.
And the best thing about it, we haven't talked about that at all, it is not just marketing content, it is sales enablement content, right? Because whenever you create a great info video about that, it describes, maybe it answers the most common questions customers have about your product.
Mm-hmm.
When you share it with your sales team and you tell them, listen, whenever a new lead gets in via our website,
Mm-hmm.
and before you set up the first sales call, send out an email with this type of video or this type of content that actually answers the most common questions. What happens in the first sales call? Most of the time, you will have a person sitting there which is already informed. They are better informed. You will have a better conversation with them, and you will spend less time on answering the same question over and over again. Think about how much time this will save you. And what you did is you send them a video before. You tell them, hey, listen, I know we have a sales call tomorrow, but I have this great video which already answers a few of the questions you might have tomorrow. And whatever question there's left, we can talk about tomorrow.
Yeah.
The conversation will be better for sure. And the best thing is, maybe it will also sort out the leads that are not a good fit for you. It will help you to disqualify bad leads you don't want to spend your time on. Because when a person watches a video and says, oh, well, that isn't the right product for me, you don't need to have a sales call with them, right? You don't want that because it's a waste of time. They already know. And you don't have to figure that out in between 2 sales calls. It saves you time, literally. And that's a concept you call assignment selling, so that you actually have content, you produce content for sales to use. That's also another strategy, or like it's the same strategy I mentioned before, that you produce content for the end of the funnel. You produce content for sales, actually. First of all, your focus should be, I want to produce content that enables sales to sell better, that they can use in their everyday work to close a deal. And on the same page, you will create content that answers the questions of all the people out there that don't know you yet, which are typing in Google the same silly, smaller questions, and you will get them as well. It's a great SEO strategy as well. It's not just sales enablement content. It is also a great SEO strategy because you are answering long-term keyword questions.
Yeah.
And you will get a very small amount of traffic, but this traffic is highly qualified already because it's a very specific question you answer.
Well, I totally agree, in fact. And there is one thing that comes to my mind in terms of this topic, that marketing and sales are have to walk hand in hand. I have noticed so many companies out there that have these departments so separated, and they don't have a constant communication. There is not a special method of how they brainstorm, how they plan together, because how am I gonna sell our services if I don't know the whole sales process? And in fact, I have recently noticed a lot of companies that merge these two departments into one, and they have just very clearly structured roles, but the department is just one. It's sales and marketing department, and it actually helps because marketers who are writing content, it's already a sales focus. The call to action is very specifically chosen not from their team, from the marketing team, but from the sales team, and the whole content is written around this call to action, around the sales. The sales offer, I would say, if it's a coupon code, if it's a discount, if it's the call to action is just sharing an ebook for free, whatever is out there, they just work towards the goal together. And yeah, I totally agree with
you can actually this concept is called revenue team. So it's not just sales and marketing, it's called revenue team. So if you, just a little bit of advertisement here, if you ever have the chance, or you don't need to have the chance, go out there and buy the book They Ask, You Answer from Marcus Sheridan. The agency I'm working with, we live by this inbound marketing and sales philosophy. We teach this kind of approach, and this approach is actually how to build your own revenue team, how to do inbound marketing and content marketing based on They Ask You Answer. It's a great philosophy. Some of the stuff I said during this webinar is actually coming from this approach to marketing. So I highly recommend to read the book, and just it will be an eye opener. A lot of stuff which you said there is so freaking simple, but it is something almost nobody does. And I'm happy to. I mean, I enrolled in their coaching program. So Marcus Sheridan actually has a coaching program to help agencies all over the world become They Ask You Answer agencies, and I enrolled in his program half a year ago, which is actually, it helped me a lot. I had a totally completely different approach to content marketing before. It was not wrong, it was just outdated, let's say it like that. So it was more outdated. It was, of course, there was some new technologies, some new insights always coming in, but this book is actually from 2000 and, well, first edition was published in 2011 maybe. So it's already a little bit older, but it still holds. It's still the same stuff you should do with your content marketing. So I highly advise you read the book They Ask You Answer.
Please share the link or the information about the book. I will post about this specifically and also tag you on LinkedIn. By the way, you said there is a misconception that content marketing is cheap, or one can start with no budget. But really, what if it's true? And the company has zero budget for content marketing, but still they want to do something about it. What is the strategy here?
Actually, great that I mentioned They Ask You Answer before, because Marcus Sheridan's own story started with him being a salesperson without any clue of marketing, and he did it. He did start from scratch without any budget or resources. You can do that. You can actually, without any budget, you have to have the spirit and, of course, the endurance to just do the work yourself. What we usually recommend, if you want to start a blogging strategy, maybe on your own, or content marketing strategy, start with the questions of your customers, or start with the questions you have. Start just simply answering them. Sit down, write down all the questions you ever get that your sales team gets all the time, sort them by relevancy, prioritize them, and just create the content. Create great content around answering questions, and especially the questions at the bottom of the funnel.
Mm-hmm.
If you do that,
Mm-hmm.
you will see a development in traffic, but only, and that's very important, you need to get the steadiness. You have to have a frequent flow of publications going out there, of content. That's what you mentioned in the beginning as well. It
Yeah.
matters. You cannot just publish one blog article every second month. That's not enough. You will never get there. It has to start with a lot of work in the beginning. The example, what we teach and what comes from Marcus Sheridan himself is 3 articles a week. 3. Which is a lot of work. Create 3 blog articles every week. But if you do that and you can hold 3 articles a week for a certain amount of time, let's say until you reach between 50 and 100 blog articles, you will see your traffic grow. You will see return of results, especially when you train your sales team to use the content during the sales process.
Oh,
You will see, because this type of content marketing has an instant ROI, an instant return on investment. Because if some of the salespeople use an article and it helps them close a deal right away, that's instant ROI, right? So,
Yes.
so it's an instant return on investment. And that's a great strategy as well, because you focus on what's important. And at some point, you will see that your traffic will grow. And then you just have to keep it steady.
Yes.
It's still recommended to publish 3 articles a week, but at some point you will publish less. That's of course always the case. Then you have to start to optimize your old content as well.
What about the length of the article? Does it matter? Or as soon
Totally. Well, the length of the content, or like even with videos, or so it totally depends on the question you might want to answer. Right? Some questions can be answered in an FAQ style, right? That's also possible, but most of the times you want to aim for longer content to explain a topic in depth, so that you also get the keywords in, right? The long-tail keywords. But it completely depends. I always go with 900 words articles. So.
Okay. Thank you so much. And how long does it take to see the results of content efforts? You mentioned that if it's between 50 and 100, you already see some kind of results. But what about timings? Does it matter?
Well, yeah, I wouldn't put and guess a certain amount of time. It really depends if you can keep on publishing on a regular basis. So I mean, if you do that 3-4 months in a row, then there will definitely be some results. And especially you will learn from it. If you have the right tools in place, you can track how people interact with your content and how you can optimize it, how you can actually place it out there. That's amazing if you have the right content in place. And then you can automate workflows. You can just keep on sending them follow-up emails with great articles that go into a topic even deeper, and then you can just nurture them as well a little bit more through the marketing funnel.
How should one measure success? Okay, when it comes to content marketing, let's say I've done it. You said 3 articles per week. We have done it. What's next? How to measure success?
I measure success when a salesperson comes and says, "Listen, Patrick, this article has helped me to close a deal." That's success. There's no other KPI you should put out there. It's just when salespeople come to you and say, "Your content helped me to close a deal," that's success. And that's the only thing that should matter. That's something that actually helps you build your business, and actually is also something you can scale, right? It's really something you can scale up. The more helpful content you create and the more you train your salespeople to use it, actually, they need to know what sort of content is available, where is it, how to use it, when, etc., etc. So there's a lot of training for sales involved as well. And they are the resource for new topics as well, right? So that's what you mentioned before, but when we talked about the revenue team. It needs to be a close collaboration here. And I think the only thing you ever need to measure, of course, you should measure traffic, rankings, and stuff like that. But I think the ultimate KPI is
Or yeah.
whenever people come and say, "This deal, I sold 100 million deal, whatever packages, just because I sent them this explainer video before."
Wow, interesting. And is it okay for brands to solely rely on content marketing? Why I ask this? Because, there's usually a combination of paid ads plus content marketing that works, does the magic. But what if, you don't have the budget for paid ads and you just solely rely on content marketing?
It's good that you mentioned that, because we have to put it into perspective. If you are trying to compete in a very highly competitive industry, you also need to have paid advertising to get your content going, because just putting new articles out there without doing anything with it, without publishing it on social media as well, without distributing it to other platforms, or having a good email list where you can send out the just publishing the article and let it sit there, nothing will happen with it. Even though you publish 3 articles a week, it will take you years to see results.
Yeah.
So you need to, especially in the beginning, you need to find your own way of supporting your content marketing efforts. Be it paid advertising, be it paid Google ads, LinkedIn ads, Facebook ads, whatever you want to do, whatever works best for you. Be it email marketing. Email marketing is, I think it's much more important than paid advertisement, because when you have a great email list, it does the most.
It does magic, really.
And but it's right. We always also recommend our clients to set aside a little bit of budget for paid ads, especially in the beginning. Maybe later, depending on your goals and how much you want to pay for one lead, you can also set aside budget. But it helps you, especially in the beginning, to get the machine going, right? So just fire it up. And so I would never recommend to just solely rely on content marketing. But if you don't have the budget, you just need to produce more content.
Yeah, exactly.
If it's easier as that. If you don't have the budget, then produce 6 articles a week, 6 great articles, and just put them out there. Put them on every platform you know. Just play with it. Send it to people.
Send to people, exactly. That's what comes to my mind. Sending to people, sharing with a very nice message, saying, I deeply think you're interested in this content. Just read it. Yeah, totally agree with it. By the way, it's not our topic, performance marketing itself, but just I would like to say here that Facebook ads, especially, and all these methods that we are so used to are becoming more and more non-reliant. The targeting based on interests and has become not so exact. Like I don't know how to say it. Like we are not able to target the people that we want with 100% exactness, and there is always a 30% fluctuation if we target based on interests. Even though one has to try, performance marketing together with content marketing, just remember that you should anyhow create a lot of content, even though you spend money. So there are so many people that do the mistake of stopping to create content just because they have, put a lot of resources in promoting one. You cannot go on with promoting the same article over and over with Facebook ads. It doesn't work like that. You should still consistently write articles, prepare content, and promote it, because you never know which one will work best. Because there is, it's not working like a clock. Like before. So the algorithms are changing. The Facebook's policy makes them to make targeting less and less reliant, actually.
And here again, we need to stress the importance of having software or tools that help you measure this kind of stuff. Of course, paid ads like Facebook, you can measure within Facebook, but if whatever comes after, you need to have a good setup with your Google Analytics, with your marketing automation software like HubSpot or stuff like that. You need to make sure you have that in place. And most of the time, you will have to pay for it as well. You will have to pay for good tracking. And that's something a lot of companies also forget to set aside in their budget, that they need to buy the tools for this. And of course, it's expensive. HubSpot is an expensive tool.
Yes.
And a lot of other tools, Salesforce, stuff like that, is expensive as well. But if you see it compared to what you can achieve, and in the end, you will have the proof based on the data, what you achieved with it. It is actually just a small amount of money within your expenses.
Yeah, totally agree. And can you please provide us an example? Now we're nearing to an example.
Well, let me share my screen then.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, I can do that.
Yes.
You can see my screen, right?
Now, yes.
Example I got from my coaching. It's doing the basic and air conditioning, and you would say, okay, well, an air conditioning company or like a supplier here, why do they do content marketing? But if you think of it, there is a lot of question you might have around your heating, your ventilation, and your air conditioning. So what they did is they introduced a blog, what they call Learning Center, where people, their customers, can learn about every freaking aspect of this topic. And they're creating content on a weekly basis almost, and just covering all the questions that their customers have. And it might be interesting if we would say,
Oops.
am I still here?
Yes, you are. I don't know why. Yeah, go on.
It's just
You hear?
broke up.
No worries. Go ahead.
It's interesting here because you might gray here. You might assume it's not that interesting to read about the topics, right? So of course you will say they're creating boring articles or boring videos. I'm not going to click on the videos, otherwise I think the internet will break.
Yeah, no worries.
But it's so interesting how they actually create this kind of articles and create this kind of topics and repurpose it, and they use it on social media. They use it everywhere to reach out to their customers. And it's a great examples of companies like this one. I mean, it's not common that a company like this does content marketing, but they reach levels of new leads you cannot even imagine.
Wow.
They are dominating the internet in the United States in terms of topics around heating and air conditioning and ventilating. Just because.
Yeah. Sounds simple, but not everyone does. You hear?
All right.
Yeah.
Let me just.
Yeah. You hear?
I'm here. I'm back.
Yeah, I totally liked your example, because even with the most boring, topics or products, one can really make huge revenue with the right content marketing strategy. You never know.
it's great that you just said boring, because
Yeah.
most of those companies say, I don't think we can do that because we are too boring.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, maybe they don't have the most exciting product or service, but
Mm-hmm.
their customers still have questions, right? And
Yes.
you create your content around the questions and make it, even what you said, you can make a nice video, you can make a nice social media infographic about that, you can sort of package the
Mm-hmm.
deal, the information,
Mm-hmm.
and share it in a way that is more consumable, and so it's not that boring any longer. So the argument, we are too boring, we cannot do content marketing, is that's not valid any longer.
I see. I see. Well, yeah, totally agree with you. Now that we are nearing the end of our webinar, the last question is: what kind of skills are important if one wishes to pursue content marketing as a career?
um, Besides the obvious, you need to have some sort of content creation skill. And
Mm-hmm.
most of the time, it should be writing. You should be good at writing,
Yeah.
creating good, great texts. Um, but it could also be that you're great at video editing or shooting videos or stuff like that. That's also a very nice skill to have, or
Mm-hmm.
doing some sort of graphic design, what you mentioned before with canvas and stuff, and do
Mm-hmm.
great infographics. So a lot of that. That's the obvious part.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other hand, you need to be a journalist in a way. You need to be able to get the questions you want to write your content about. You need to be able to interview people, your sales team, your CEO, your customers, in order to create the content.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a skill you need to have. You need to have people skills. You need to be able to talk to people and get everything from them and just drain from their head, because you don't know. You're just the vessel, right? You're just
Yeah.
producing the content. Um, and you need to be you don't need to be a data enthusiast in a way that you know everything about Google Analytics stuff, but you need to be able to make decisions based on the data you see. You can have a data analyst that helps you gather the data,
Mm-hmm.
but you need to make the right decisions based on the data.
Yeah.
This also means whenever you get data about traffic, organic traffic presented and stuff, you also need to have a very deep understanding of on how search engines work.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to be a SEO specialist, but that's one of the aspects you need to have in mind always. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, well, I think it is, and being a great communicator, that actually that relates to
Mm-hmm.
being a good reporter and interview people and be the journalist within your own company.
Mm-hmm.
That skills, those are the skills I think you need to have. And then whatever sets you apart from the rest, right? If you
Mm-hmm.
have any specialized skills, maybe you are even great at setting up ads on LinkedIn and stuff like that. So you're a
Mm-hmm.
LinkedIn expert as well. That helps.
Mm-hmm.
But for you, it should be the most of the time you should have in your task list every day to produce new content,
Mm-hmm.
to manage old content or maintain old content, to publish
Mm-hmm.
new content on different platforms,
Mm-hmm.
and to strategize, right? To actually do the strategy for all the content that is coming up.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So you need to be a strategist as well. So that's the last skill.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the one thing that I'll add from my side is like seeing the whole picture. There are so many content marketing specialists that really expect their employer, their boss to come up with solutions and instructions and checklists and stuff, and they feel that they don't need to know it all. They kind of don't need to know all about the product first. They don't need to know all about client, all of their needs. So they kind of themselves think that it's possible to go on without knowing it all and do a great job. It's such a mistake, really. And like even within HBC, we have witnessed so many such situations that we are kind of trying to work hard against it. But eventually you have to really explain to every single content marketing specialist why you think they should know it all about, especially about the product and especially about the target audience. So what we do, we write a lot of README files. We write a lot of checklists, a lot of descriptive material, and we really make sure that every single person in our team just reads it. And I personally ask questions to each one of them to check if they know, the specifics. Recently, we have even had a very not a very nice situation where one of our content marketing specialists didn't know the launch date of our course, and they posted content with a wrong date. So this is the type of mistake that comes with them not knowing the basics of your sales funnel, of your schedule, of your course information. Of course, it doesn't talk about competency, about competency of doing the job, but it comes with diligence to also the competency is not itself enough to do your job well. It comes with diligence, hard work, and being interested overall in what you're doing.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Patrick, for your time today and for discussing content marketing from A to Z. There's certainly a lot more to talk. If we go on and discuss all about content marketing, even one day will not be enough. But still, you managed to cover all the holes in the topic and bring so many nice examples. Thank you for that. I hope you have a nice weekend ahead.
Thank you. You too. And thank you for having me, of course.
Yeah, I'm always happy. So we'll keep in touch. Thank you guys for watching our webinar. See you next.